Hi guys, I'm Lima and welcome to It's a Piece of Cake. Today we're going to make this 3D huge Easter egg filled with chocolate. So first we're going to melt some chocolate in the microwave. So you either temper your chocolate or you melt a compound chocolate. Once you've melted your chocolate, we're going to add in food color powder. So the food color powders you can get from your cake decorating shop. They're just oil-based food color powders, and you whisk them or stir them into your chocolate till there's no powder left. And the more powder you put, the darker your colors will be, and the less you put, the lighter colors you'll be. Of course, you can use oil-based gels if you want to as well, but I prefer to color my chocolate always with powder. Once you've got them all colored, you're going to pop them into some piping bag, and we're going to use this super large Easter egg mold which you can get from your cake decorating shop, and you're going to just drizzle on your colors. So you can use as many colors as you like, or as if you want to just do two tones, you can just do two tones, but you're just going to swiggle on the colors because we're going to kind of tap it all so all the colors blend in and mold together. So once I've done my yellow, I am going to add a little bit of white as well. I just wanted to see what it looked like with the white, but I realized later it was unnecessary. You don't really need to add the white to it. It depends on how much you stir it around, because I kind of move mine a lot. It kind of really marbled together. So the lesser you move it around, the lesser it will marble. The more you move it around, the more it marbles. Pop it in the fridge, let it firm up, and then do a second coat on it. You can clean up the ends if you've got too much excess chocolate, but once you've done your second coat, you should pop out of its mold and you'll get that color, that really nice marbled color. Just use a knife to clean up any excess chocolate that you have on the sides. Of course, if you cleaned up your plastic mold from the start really nice and clean, you won't have too much excess chocolate, but because I didn't, I have to kind of cut off all that excess chocolate just with a knife, just to get a nice neat sides of them. And then you're going to repeat the process to make your second half of it. So with this one here, instead of putting in the piping bag the chocolate, I'm kind of just spooning it onto the mold. It really makes no difference. I've had some people ask why we spoon it instead of using a piping bag, but that's because whether you can waste your time putting them into the piping bag, it makes no difference. Spooning them, piping them, I can't tell any difference. And repeating that, doing the first coat, popping it in the fridge, letting it firm up, and then repeat it and do the second coat. Now you have to do two coats on them if you're planning to put a lot of chocolate in it. I am, so I have to make sure that it's quite thick, the chocolate, because you don't want it to break easily. Let it sit in the fridge and pop it right out, and then cut off the excess chocolate on the sides. You can leave it plain, but I'm adding a little bit of gold dust just to the corners of it where they've got the kind of all the edges, because just to give it a bit of more character. You don't have to. This part is optional, but all you do is just use some gold powder, and I'm using this is a makeup brush that I've bought. It's an eyeshadow brush, and I just use it for the gold. So all you do is just go around all the corners, and you just get the gold powder, and you kind of fill in the gaps. If you spray your chocolate with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray, it makes it tacky, so it gives the powder something to stick on. I did it without the cooking spray and it worked fine, but if you need the cooking spray, just spray it with non-stick cooking spray, make it tacky, and then you can use the powder to kind of put it all in the gaps. Fill it with whatever you want to. So I'm filling it with obviously my children's favorite chocolates, and fill it up right to the top, and then just melt some of your chocolate and put it on the corner. So I'm just going to get it a bit small because it's a bit easier to hold, and then put the chocolate, and this is going to be basically what's going to glue the two halves together. So once you've got the chocolate on top, put the other half on top, and then just use your fingers just to neaten up all the chocolate that has gone on the sides. And if you have any holes, fill them up with chocolate, and just keep repeating that and until you've got a nice neat solid half. To make the bow, we're just cutting out a rectangle piece of fondant. I do have a full tutorial on how to make bows, which I'll put in the link in the description box below. But basically, I make a rectangle, fold it in half, and then I can see where the line is, put a bit of water, bring the two sides together, and pinch the middle. That's how I make my bows. It's very, very easy. And then I cut off a little bit kind of long rectangle on the excess fondant that I have, use the water to attach it, and wrap it around the bow. And that basically makes a really quick, easy bow. And then you can add some paper towels in the middle if you want your bow to be very fluffy and puffy. So I'm making two of the bows. So as you can see, get the fondant, put it in half, water, pinch the middle, and then use your fingers to kind of put some air inside. And if you want it really puffy, add something inside. Like I said, there's a full tutorial on the bows, which I'll put in the description box below. Now I'm going to let these bows set to dry up, and then I'm going to place them onto my so you make them about 3-4 hours in advance just so they can firm up. And then I'm going to make the ribbon. So with the ribbons, just a long rectangle, add some water, and kind of bring in the sides. That's just to give you a solid cut, straight cut. If you don't mind and you want it to be like a straight cut, you don't have to fold the edges over. I just folded the edges over just to make it a bit softer. put the water onto your Easter egg, and then just drape over your ribbon however you want it, and then that water is going to glue it onto the chocolate, a little bit more water to add the bow into place, and let it set. So it'll take about half an hour for that water to really dry, and then once it's dried up, that bow won't be moving, and that kind of gives us a nice bow. I've got a big slab of chocolate here. I'm going to add some more chocolate, so make sure your chocolate is either compound chocolate or tempered chocolate here to stick it onto the little slab that I've got. So you hold it for about 10-20 seconds, make sure you've got it in the angle that you want to, and then let it glue into place. I'm adding a lot of chocolate for support because my son wants to smash it, so I'll have to make sure it's kind of really strong and stable before he smashes it. To get rid of all that excess ridges of chocolate that you've got on the side, you just need to put your spoon in some hot water. Just put the back of the spoon in hot water and just go back and forth until it melts and dissolves all that kind of excess chocolate that you have, so it kind of looks a bit more smoother. Now with the second bow, I decided I didn't want to use that. I played around with it and then I didn't like it, so I just left it as is, and I just added some gold, just some gold powder onto certain areas of it, just for a bit of character. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then I also added some on the bow, so just some dry gold powder that I'm attaching onto just the bow, just to kind of get a bit of character. It probably looked better without it, but I just did it just to see what it looked like. And then add it on the other side, and that is pretty much it. And you've got your giant, huge Easter egg. Clean up any excess powder with your fingers if you get any on the Easter egg, and that is pretty much your super huge, giant, easy rainbow cake. My son, filled Easter egg. My son loves smashing Easter eggs, so this was for him, and that's why I kind of secured it really strong because he wanted to Hulk smash it. So he was very, very, very excited, and then he basically smashed the whole chocolate. So thanks so much guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and hopefully you guys tune into my next video. Take care and bye for now.